Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. We're talking about the final parts of the program. Now we're looking at Nigeria's foreign policy, and we've been looking at the strategies, strategic economic engagements. I've been having conversation with Dele Alimi. He is the Director, Membership and Trade and Promotion at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you so much, Dele, for sticking around. So let's talk about the private sector now. Okay. It's a very important, and an integral part of how an economy should be run. Is the organized private sector aware or even included in any foreign economic policy agenda?
Well, I will say it is. I'll say it is to the extent that
it is aware or it's included.
Well, it is aware, and to an extent, it's included. Just that we find out that in Nigeria today, there is no distinction between businessmen and the OPS. And what I say is that you sometimes there's a tendency to think when you have a relationship with maybe top 5 business people, and then you continue to interact with them, you are already interacting with the organized private sector. No, they are two different things entirely. Because the organized private sector includes the big one, the medium size, and the small ones. Especially the small ones. They are the biggest player in that field. And unless you also get them involved, you may not be doing the right thing completely. So that's why I say to some extent. You've seen our president go out. He goes with some very top business people. They go to economic forum. They go with top business people. But you don't see a clear representation of the OP, the organized private sector. Because you have organizations like the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, NASIMA, the NECA. These are the basic, what I'll call the basic arms of the organized private sector in Nigeria. I'm not sure they are carried along as much as they should be. So there's a need to integrate them further into that quest to get a foreign economic policy for Nigeria.
So what role is the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry actually playing? Well, one of the many chambers that we have playing.
Well, you see, in the LCCI, virtually because of our location, because of our size, because of our age, we have what I would call bilateral relationship with so many chambers of commerce outside Nigeria. And this has come to fore not because there's a conscious effort by government or anybody. It's just the effort by the LCCI itself to say, look, if everyone does not help you, you may have to help yourself. So we've reached out to many organizations, especially in Europe and Asia, who have bilateral relationship. But then, whether you like it or not, you still need the conducive business environment in your country to take full advantage. So if you are not careful, you find out that the other end is getting more. They are getting more than you really would get. Second, you have a relationship with a country in Europe, and you want to go on a trade mission. You still have to go through the rigors of the traveling necessities and the visas and everything. And you have a lot of small-sized organizations who, quote unquote, may not meet the requirement. So we have more of these countries coming into Nigeria than we going out of Nigeria. So that is also an handicap. You have more of them coming into Nigeria, and they come with what they need. They come with what they need.
So they put the domestic or local investors now at a disadvantage?
Of course it does. It does. Because they come with what they need, and of course you match them. By the time you are matching them, you are matching their needs. But when you go out, you also go with what you need, and they also match your needs. So there's that discrepancy between the two. We have more people coming into the country on trade mission than people going out.
So what is LCCI doing to see that, small companies like that have the opportunity to go out and also ply their wares?
Yes, what we have done, in fact, in the LCCI now, we have created a desk we call the International Relations Desk, where we now relate directly with the commercial sections of most of these embassies and high commissions in Nigeria. So we have a one-on-one with them, and the main thrust is to look at consular issues. How small business people, once they are verified by an organization like the LCCI, can get visas easily to travel. Because you just find out that most of these consular people are even making a lot of mistakes in the issuance of their visa because they cannot understand Nigerians or Nigeria the way we do. So we have that desk that is now relating with every romantic areas in this foreign commissions, agencies in this country and try to make them understand. And I think to some extent it is working for us.
You talked about trade missions. Now, how active is the LCCI in this space to promote local companies' interest in foreign economies?
We are very, very active. We have a unit that is completely in charge of that. In fact, we are about expanding that unit now. And because we've just realized that Nigeria is not, we have a big market, but you need to also spread out and go beyond the shores of Nigeria. Let people even learn, let people improve their capacities when they go out. We've started with attending international trade fairs and exhibitions abroad. We are going into we went from that to B2B meetings. And we're going deeper into the B2B meetings, such that even before you leave Nigeria, you know where you're going, you know who you are talking to, you have your schedule and everything. This is what these people do when they come in, and we've learned so much from them too.
So in terms of learning so much, let's just put a figure to it. I like to put, figures to facts.
Okay.
Let's just tell us how many local investors have successfully, done such travels or made such incursions into foreign economies, and how much success have they recorded?
Well, Harriet, I must confess that you are putting me in a very tight spot. But the truth is, on a yearly basis, at least since 2010, the SCCI has gone on not less than 6 to 7 missions abroad. Some basically for international fairs, some for B2B meetings. And the feedback we've gotten from our members is of great advantage. But unfortunately, I cannot give you a figure in terms of, at least on each of these missions, there are not less than 10. In fact, there are somewhere we have up to, especially to the Asian countries, we have up to 30 companies who go there. But basically, most of the visits to the Asian countries have been about trade. Because, of course, the countries are going to also have their own foreign policy. So, but I can tell you, on a yearly basis, we have between 40 and 50 organizations who have had very good and wonderful business relationship. Yeah, it starts from distributorship. Some have even started what I would call a kind of cottage industry here in Nigeria. But our success has been in Asia, in India, Pakistan, China. I know 2 Pakistani companies who have formed alliance with Nigerians, and they have organizations in Nigeria now producing these. There is one that is producing this tricycle in Nigeria today. Instead of buying, they are now producing here. I know of one that is producing medical equipment here in Nigeria. The two organizations are from Pakistan. And that is just, I'm talking about just one organization now, one Nigerian organization who was able to bring in these companies. So I would say, at least since 2010, we've had an increase, just like we have a lot of people interested in coming to Nigeria. It also became an advantage for our own members who are able to take due advantage. Of course, we are also handicapped by their own capacities in terms of funding and in terms of the infrastructure in place in Nigeria. But I think, like everybody says, sometimes challenges are opportunities. So most of these countries somebody said it, I think when we received the Vietnamese trade delegation last week, and somebody said, this is the time for you to come. When everybody's running, it's not actually looking at it, because now the challenges can become opportunities for you.
So, in looking at those opportunities, where the challenges are, what will the chambers of commerce be doing differently under this new administration in terms of international economic diplomacy?
Well, the first thing we've done is to kind of chart a new course for the government itself. We prepared what I would call a draft policy position on what the government should do in many areas of business, especially international trade, and we've pushed it forward. That is an expectation in our advocacy role. We are also going to continue to work on the major role of ensuring that we improve the capacities of Nigerian businesses in terms of human and material resources. We are also going to definitely be looking at the issue of infrastructures as usual. We'll make all the noise we can make. Unfortunately, we may not be the one to implement, but we want to engage government more. This government has promised an inclusive administration. So we're going to get more involved in ensuring that we tell them what we think they should do. And I think they will listen to us.
Oh, well,
Yes.
we hope so too. Well, thank you so much, Dele, for coming on the program
You're
this
welcome.
morning.
You're welcome.
Dele Alimi is the Director of Membership and Trade Promotion with the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Well, that's the program for today. Many thanks for spending time with us. I'm Harriet Agbenyi. Have a profitable day.